Well, thank you so much for coming to part 1 of this new momentum class. I'm excited to talk about this class and share it with you guys because it's, like I said, fairly new, good concepts, especially if you're looking to do more with social media or just video in general. So this class, as I went through it, really has some great ideas, some scripts, some tools. So I'm really excited to bring it to you guys. It's made up of 5 sections and has like a conclusion section. So we'll just kind of start off with part 1, see how far we get today, and then pick up part 2 on Thursday. And that'll be here at the Camdenton office in the downstairs conference room at 10 a.m. So let's look at the plan first. So the strategy that we look at within this class is to create a human connection to generate more relationships with clients and in turn lead to more sales and greater productivity. So we first start with your personal brand in section 1. We're going to talk about the items under each of these in more detail. Once you have your brand identified, then you'll want to take your brand to become more intentional and proactive, as well as become more dollar productive. And both of those work hand in hand, like this screen says. And then finally, you will do that through your new video system or strategy that you've created within your own business. I also want to say that as we go through this, I want you guys to think about how video can also save you some time within your business. So being able to create valued content to share with your clients that can also be reshared. So when thinking about making videos, think about it in the long term as well. So for example, if you do a video for your new potential clients for a listing, make that video work for all new potential clients, not just those particular ones, if that makes any sense. I know that like James Wood gave a really great example on how he did that pre-conversational activities in an email. He described like what a meeting with him would be like, asked some of those pre-listing questions ahead of time, and then marketed some of his other listings to give them examples. So it's just the whole point of getting creative and finding ways around just saving you time and showing your value. So section 1, before we get started with section 1 though, who here has tried doing videos or want to like get better with videos in general?
I tried BombBomb, but didn't.
With BombBomb?
Mm-hmm. But I didn't have time.
Yeah. Well, let's look at why agents like yourselves should consider video. So video is an extremely powerful tool to incorporate in your business plan for several reasons. It humanizes yourself, so puts that personality to a name and lets them kind of see you ahead of time. It creates relatability with your audience. It establishes credibility as a subject matter expert, allows for firsthand display of your character, expertise, and knowledge. It delivers an experience that stands out above the crowd, and it also strengthens relationships and builds new ones. Most importantly, though, the average video message is outperforming its non-video counterpart. And I know we say that a lot in a lot of our other classes, but you know, my video is going to outperform your non-video, basically is what that means. I know that some agents, even outside of our organization, are trying video. Have you guys seen anything that maybe the competition has been doing? Has anything stuck out to you?
No, there's some different ads on Facebook. If you go around, you'll see different companies doing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
same thing that we do.
Yeah, same thing that we kind of do. I've noticed like some coming from EXP or Keller with like listings and things like that. They're doing a great job. But I'm still at the same time not seeing a whole bunch either. So just remember that it's an opportunity for you to leverage if you're not seeing a whole bunch as well. So I want to give you guys some stats next.
Get closer so you can see. I don't think
I let Lois in. Maybe. I don't know where she. Lois, are you there? Oh, hi. Okay, I got you in. Sorry. Anyway, so I want to give you guys some stats next. So here are some fun facts from several different sources, like the National Association of Realtors, for example. But homeowners say that they are more likely to list with a real estate agent who uses video. Some marketing professionals worldwide name video as the type of content that has the best ROI, or return on investment. Video drives an increase in organic traffic from search engine results. So like from Google or YouTube, because they're both partnered together now. Initial emails with the video receive an increased click-through rate. So if you do a video and you want to redirect them to your website or something, that's definitely going to increase your chances of them clicking to go to your website. And marketers who use video grow revenue faster than non-video users. So like all of those are really good stats, but yet few realtors use videos in their marketing. So question is, why are you not leveraging video right now?
Chicken.
Yeah.
Not sure how to do it.
Not sure how to do it. That's another good one too. So let's talk about why you aren't leveraging video. So we can all agree that it's because you probably don't feel too comfortable doing video in the first place, like Jean said, or maybe you just don't know how to utilize the tools and resources. Both are great examples of why. So which one of these below do you feel best describes you? Are you lacking motivation? Are you lacking direction, lacking ability, lack of focus, or lack of support?
Focus. Lack of focus.
Mm-hmm. Josie, you might be lack of ability, just for
ability and direction.
Yeah, ability and direction. Okay. Yeah. So the consequences of you not incorporating video into your business plan are far greater than those if you were to embrace it. So let's talk about building your personal brand. And this topic is supposed to be fun. Creating your personal brand, it's something that a lot of agents look forward to or think about before they even get into the industry, because you guys have the great ability to do that. So when building your personal brand, think of this quote: your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card, and how you leave others feeling after having an experience with you becomes your trademark. And I love that quote because I think it's so true. Mm-hmm. So what experiences do you want your clients to have when working with you?
I want them to remember me. I want them to be impressed with the information I gave it to them. I want them to want more from me.
I couldn't quite make out what you said, Josie. Sorry.
I want them to be impressed with what we're doing. I want them to remember me. And I want them to engage so that they want more.
Yeah, I made out that you said that you want them to engage.
Can we turn me up?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just cutting in and out. It might be your microphone.
Okay. I said I want them to remember me.
Remember you?
I want them to want to be engaged with me.
Engaged with you.
Engaged. Remember you, engaged.
And want more from me.
And want more from you. Yeah, those are all great things. Jean, can you think of any? Like, what experience do you want your clients to have?
I want to have a smooth.
That's a good word.
Likable. And I want them to come back, of course, like everyone else does. And I want them to refer me to others, that they were happy with the services that they got, the things that we can do for them and that we do for them, and that they pass it on to others, and it reflects.
Yeah, those are all spot on as far as, what kind of experience that you are trying to bring to the table. Let's go over some must-haves of kind of creating your personal brand in case you don't have one or you're maybe thinking about redoing it. So you must be authentic, and that means like an authentic manifestation of who you are. You must reflect what you do. So like the services you provide, examples of your expertise or knowledge. You must amplify what you believe, and then you must be a thoughtful display of your ideals. So personality, values, or beliefs. And to take this a little bit further, let's kind of do an activity with building your personal brand. So if you've not built your brand for yourself, or maybe, like I said, you're rethinking the brand, this exercise can be really helpful. So like I said, your brand needs to revolve around how you see yourself and how others see you. So take a minute and think about one word that you would use to describe yourself and one word that others would use to describe you.
What do you guys think about it?
Passionate.
And then let me know what they are when you have them.
Driven.
We're doing right now the word about ourselves, right?
Word about yourself.
Both of them?
Mm-hmm. Jean, you got yours?
Yeah.
What's one that you would use for yourself?
Honest.
Honest. That's a good one. What about how others view you?
That I don't know. That I'm kind of throwing around in my head, how others see me.
That's okay. It's a good thing to think about, though.
Friendly,
Friendly.
outgoing,
I'd put
something like that.
intriguing. I mean, me knowing you and working closely with you, I find you intriguing would be a good word. Positive, another good word.
I have my days.
Yeah, we all do. Josie, what were some of yours?
For myself, I said enthusiastic. I put in here said passionate and driven.
Passionate and driven.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good.
The word others may describe me, I would say trustworthy. Honest.
Honest, yeah. And Lois, I don't know if you can talk or not, but if you can, feel free to share too what you kind of thought about.
I can talk. I'm having some difficulty with my camera, I think. I don't know. Personal brand. It would be, I would go with honest, very honest. What you see is what you get.
I love that. Yeah.
How people see me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully friendly, hopefully someone easily to approach, approachable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all great words. I love that. Approachable is really good.
Yeah.
Once you've identified these words, you want to kind of start thinking about building your brand around them. Can anyone think of any cool brands that other agents, are using that you've maybe liked? I know a couple that stick out for me is like Sonia Hill here at the Camden office. She does "Oh Hell Yes" or "Oh Hell Yeah" as her brand, or James Woods, the best agent ever is his brand, or best coach ever.
We discussed mine a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yours is entertaining. I loved that, Jean. That was pretty good. So yeah, just think about that as well. Just kind of looking at maybe some funny or punny, witty things that you could throw into your brand as well, but also that makes a pretty good impact. So once you've identified how you want to begin to brand yourself, now we need to dig a little bit deeper within that brand, and that's through storytelling. So you want to create an emotional connection with your viewer, which is why you want to lead with emotion on some level. When thinking about becoming a storyteller, some things that you could consider is by breaking down what story means. So here is how this class kind of broke down what story means, and we can talk about this in your business. So S stands for stand out, and this is why are you unique and what makes you different from other agents? Can anybody just quickly shoot me anything that comes to their mind?
Extra feature sheet. My extra feature sheet that I put out.
I'm still having a hard time hearing you, Josie. Sorry.
My extra feature sheet which I put out.
Your expertise.
extra feature sheet.
Oh, extra feature sheet. Okay. Yeah.
It's very detailed.
Yeah. Very detailed. That's a good one.
My knowledge of the lake from here.
Yeah. The knowledge of the lake. That's always a good one, especially like you said, Josie, because you're local and you have been here, most of your life. Let's go to T. So that's the expert. This is what do you want to be known for, or what is your focus or area of expertise? Does anybody have like a focus? I know, Jean, you were just saying that you got that designation. So I assume that, yeah, so I assume that you want to kind of focus a little bit with military a little bit.
I like to focus on my reputation.
Reputation, that's always a good one. Something very strong to remember as well. Hi, Ron. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Hi, Ron.
The next one is onlookers, or O. So what audience do you want to appeal to? Who do you want to know who you are or to hear your story? So has anybody thought about that?
Everybody.
Money buyers.
Buyers, everybody.
Big money buyers.
Mhm.
Big money buyers. Luxury.
Ready. I've also gotten ready, willing, and able. I mean, so, okay. And then R, relevant. This goes along with what content is relevant and valuable to who you are or what you're trying to capture. So that could, with Josie, that could be something that's a little bit more related to buyers. And Jean, like you said, with military, that could be something a little bit more leveraged for them. So you want to think about that content creation. And then lastly, your why, which is your yearning. So what content is the audience missing? And what is no one else doing that you can? Can anybody think of anything for those? What is no one else doing that you can do?
I think some of the things is just sharing market data. That people want to know what's going on, and the more that you can be the person to communicate that, it's going to set you apart, I believe, from the rest of the crowd.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. See, the great thing about these is that there really isn't a right or wrong answer, which is why your story is uniquely yours. So you want to dig deep here. You really want to take some time to think about it. Don't just say things like, no offense, Jean, but don't say things like, I want to appeal to everybody. Because that can tend to be a little vague and could put you in a box where you're trying to reach out to too many shiny pennies, if that makes any sense. So don't be afraid to get detailed with some of it, because then you'll be able to bring the most value to each one of those aspects, which is where we're going to, that's what we're going to talk about next. So how will you be valuable to your audience? People who are looking for an agent, watching you online, or thinking about working with you all have a need, right? So one of my favorite quotes here is, see a need, fill a need. That's our goal. We're helping clients, we're helping them within either selling or buying a property. We're filling that need of a home. So what is a gap that you want to fill right now when thinking about our industry? Like, Ron, to your point, you were saying you want to kind of bring more of that market expertise to it. You don't maybe see a lot of people leveraging the market information. So that could be a need. Another one I could think of is maybe thinking in the terms of like farming. So you want to bring value to a particular farming area that you're working. So one of the great things that I think anyone in our industry can do is they can try to fill these gaps, bringing education to desired topics. And that means that you need to be the resource hub. So for you to be the resource hub, You must keep delivering value, driven content on a consistent basis. Also, don't be surprised when you start doing some of this and you only get maybe one like or maybe one comment, because it's consistency over time that gets that progress. So don't get discouraged if you start doing videos or posting them on social media and it's not gaining a lot of traction in the beginning, because it's not going to, because people aren't used to seeing you leveraging yourself like that. So just consistency over time. Some of the content to be valuable, it must be relevant. So something that the audience needs or that is meaningful and appropriate. It needs to be irresistible, or something that the audience wants and that is enticing and appealing, or irreplaceable. So something that they can't get anywhere else and can only be found with you, and that's unique. Again, kind of going back to that farming example. So getting back to the overall experience that we talked about in the very beginning, think about your content and what experience that you want to deliver overall. Just like and I know I use him and I bring him up a lot, but that's just because a lot of this content is kind of what he talks about. And that's what James Wood thought about when he created Best Agent Ever. He wanted to bring the best experience ever. He didn't want to have somebody think he was arrogant for branding himself like that, because it was more about what experience he wanted to bring to the table, not that he thought of himself that way. So I also kind of think about Tony Farr a little bit and how he leverages his community or captures his charitable events by like handing out turkeys around Thanksgiving, or doing the coloring contest or trunk or treats at Halloween. Those are all ways that he's just adding to his brand or his identity through his video marketing. But the reality is that you have been developing your brand since before you even began your real estate career. That was all through interactions on social media or maybe face-to-face. So remember that someone's first impression of your brand or what you stand for can happen through an interaction, not even with them. So you want to be sure that you're living your values every day and not displaying yourself in a negative way. And to Josie's point, she had a great word earlier, and that was reputation. Think about your reputation, and you want to live by that reputation daily and display it. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast? Okay. So now we're going to get into section 2. Lois and Ron, at the beginning, I was telling them that this class has about 5 sections. So we're going to pick up where we left off on Thursday here at the Camdenton office. So section 2, now that you've had an understanding of the financial impact video could have on your business, or have an understanding of your brand, now I want to talk about being intentional, proactive, and dollar productive. So your internal line on this graph represents your willingness, and your external line represents your ability. So success is a result of being intentional and proactive. For you to be successful in your business, you must be like within the right mindset and have the willingness and the ability. So as you can see, you want to be kind of in this abundance category. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but hopefully it's the top right. And that's where you're wanting it and you're moving towards it. You don't want to be in the frustration category where you're frustrated all the time and you're not really moving towards things, or the failure quadrant where you don't want it and you're not moving towards it. So that's basically business death. And, the first one, I want it, but I'm not moving towards it. I'm just talking about wanting it. You don't want to be in any of those. You want to be wanting it and moving towards it. Another way to look at it is, another way of looking at being intentional and proactive is through the model of success. And we go through all these models in a lot of other different classes that we have, but they bring them up in this class because it all ties together. And you can be intentional by defining your aspirations and developing your goals, plans, and strategies, this being a strategy that you want to develop. And then you can be proactive by just implementing these activities consistently with action and holding yourself accountable on a weekly basis. So your video plan should be no different and should work in line with your listing conversion plan or your buying conversion plan, and all of the other plans and strategies that we teach. So let's do another activity. So define your video aspiration goal. What do you want to come from your videos?
More buyers and sellers.
More clients? Yep.
Yes.
More business? That's your goal, right? I mean, I don't think anybody else would have a different goal other than maybe getting themselves out there, maybe some confidence issues, like helping you gain a little bit more confidence. But the overall goal is for you to get out there, make a name for yourself, and have something that leverages you. Even when you're working with clients, it's leveraging you in the background. So now, I'm sorry, what?
I was going to say, if we go to the trouble, all the videos,
Can you repeat that one more time?
if we're going to go to the trouble to make all the videos and learn this process, which we want them to feel impressed by the visual.
Yeah, we want them to feel impressed. Yeah, exactly. We want them to feel impressed and get more engagement, and then come back. We want them to come back to you. Exactly to your point, Josie. But now the next question is, how badly do you want it? I mean, how bad do you want those extra clients? How bad do you want to do this? Pretty bad, right? Because you want that business pretty bad. So the next thing is, are you at that passion level, which is in this 4 stages of an aspiration? Are you willing to suffer for it and get uncomfortable? Oops, let me let somebody in. Sorry, still have people joining. So are you willing to suffer for it and get uncomfortable? Because if you are not at that level, your video plan, along with all of those other plans and strategies, aren't going to work, right? Just like if you're not willing to get uncomfortable with your listing presentation or conversation, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable with, interacting with buyers, you're not going to have that great experience shine through. So that's the biggest thing I think about video, is wanting to get to that passion level where, you know what, I don't care what people think about me or what I look like or how this comes across. I'm going to do it anyway. That's the level that you want to be at. So to become dollar productive, you want to understand the real estate operational model, as well as kind of your 14 vital responsibilities that you have as an agent. So looking at the operational model, there isn't a single part of this model that couldn't have a video aspect to it. And that's this top one up here. That goes with both of your vital listing responsibilities and your buyer listing responsibilities too. You can think about each one of these and find a creative way to bring video to these things. And we'll get a little bit deeper into how we can do that in a little bit. So this also applies to your checklist from find to close, which we talk about in almost every class, and that's your vital listing and buying activities. So be sure to look through those and document ideas and start acting and recording from that list. So as an example, you can see this little video camera. It says follow this symbol to identify where video can leverage. And on this next slide for your listening activities, look at all of these places that a video could be appropriate. And I'm sure that we could even think outside of the box with some of these others as well. So for example, number 6, getting on the listing channel. That is more of an exercise for your mindset before you are meeting with clients, for you to get in the right mindset and be positive and just get on that listing channel. However, you could add a video to this as well and show them that you're getting pumped up to meet them. Tell them that it's okay to be nervous and that it's human nature. But what we're not nervous about is coming to meet them and to help them. And that just could be and that was just a general idea that I had, but that could be something fun, maybe humorous even, that no one else is going to try, The point is just to get creative and have fun. So video isn't meant to be scary. It's meant to help you be successful and more well-known. So, and here's just the buyer's activities too. This is all in that book that I sent you guys too. And there's a ton of video options with this as well. And remember that it can be through text, email, social media. So your possibilities there are endless as well as far as how you want to send it. And if you're still unsure how to do these, it's okay, because section 3 is all about scripts. And that's exactly where we're going, is scripts and specific examples that you guys can take and use right now, which is pretty exciting. I can't honestly think, and I've been teaching these classes for a while now. I've been looking at resources for a while now, and I can't really think of another avenue that provides stuff that you guys can use and take physically right now, which is pretty cool. So you want to, again, be intentional and proactive with all your messages. And to do that, you want to begin with mapping out your messages ahead of time. So with all of the messages you deliver, whether that be by video or by voice or face-to-face interaction, you must personalize, memorize, internalize, and customize your message accordingly. So you can do this by understanding your message or concept first, and then match that message to your own personal dialogue or your own personal way. And let's look how you can kind of build your scripts and execute them. So step one, you want to warm up. Introduce yourself, smile, share an item of value, or use a hook full of information to spark curiosity within the first 10 seconds. Because, and we'll get into that in just a second, but people, when watching videos, have about 10 seconds for you to keep their attention. Step two is to deliver that message, whatever that message is that you're wanting to deliver. So you want to focus on relevant, value-driven content that your audience is missing, filling that gap. You also want to speak as a subject matter expert and become that resource hub that we were talking about for your audience. And then you want to adapt your content delivery to that audience. So whatever is going to work for them, whether that be you want them to see it on your Facebook page, maybe that's including it in a weekly email for your follow-ups, whatever is going to adapt with how your audience or your particular client wants to be interacted with. And then finally, step three is your friendly close. So thank your audience for listening. Again, smile, include a call to action, which we'll get into in a minute. And that just continues that engagement. And like I said, we'll discuss more about call to actions and what those look like in a little bit. But let's look at another script example that they use these steps for. So this is an example of a script about staging after getting a listing. So you can see the warm-up dialogue on this. Have you recently listed your property, wondering how to stage it and get the most offers? Hi, I'm blank. You can see that the warm-up has a question to entice your audience, followed by the delivery of the message, what you're going to talk about. And then you get into step two, which is delivering, which is just explaining that you either have like a step-by-step guide on how to stage, which is an item of value. And then that transitions to your close. So they give you kind of two examples here. You can do one or the other, or whatever, creative route you want to take. But you can see that they either include a call to action. So discover these tips by simply clicking the link below. I'd love to hear from you, or comment below and really impress me. Tell me how you want to be impressed during a showing. Thanks for listening and happy staging. Both include a call to action. So when building your own script, be sure to practice the structure and flow, and even better, practice that with a partner. And now we're going to get into detailed scripts that you guys can literally copy and paste. And by the way, if you guys, if you open that book that I sent with the link to this meeting, the workbook for the class, if you're running on Adobe, you should be able to copy the text of any of these scripts and put it in a Word document or whatever you want to use. So the first one is an example you can use for an expired or terminated listing. You can see the hook, the message of value, and the call to action with a friendly close. And these also are in your book for you to use, like I said, right now. So if you guys want me to read them, I can, but they're also in your book, whatever floats your boat. I just really like this one because, it hooks you with, if they're looking for a more proactive way or an effective way to sell their home. Remember, it's an expired or terminated. So they've already probably had a bad experience, right? You introduce yourself And then you bring that item of value. So, I'm specializing in homes that have never sold before, maybe did it. I would love to spend some time discussing other options if you are still interested in the sale of your home. So you're delivering that message, establishing yourself as that expert, and then you're doing a call to action. So, if it's okay, I'd like to check back with you in a couple days. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope to see you soon. Friendly close. I mean, nothing drastic, paragraph of a thing. And you could probably take the time to either memorize it, or I have some tools to share with you guys, probably in part 2, that'll help you deliver that. Like, what are they called? Like a teleprompter, basically, kind of apps and different things that'll help. So here's another farming example. If you could sell your home in the next 30 to 45 days, would you? Introduction. As a realtor for X years of experience, my main focus and priority is you and your time frame. In fact, my roots run deep here in our area. So I feel a strong connection to the community. Therefore, my duty is to ensure the home selling process is as smooth as possible. I've attached a video. That's another call to action, or another way to get them to click through. Let's partner up and find the home of your dreams. So, the other benefit of these scripts too is if you don't like particular wording or you want to change it up a little bit, you can. I mean, nobody has a right or wrong answer. You don't want to sound scripted or robotic. So feel free to take these and make them different if you want to as well. I love this example for an open house. Asking what they're doing on X day, and also saying the as an extra service message that we talk about in the open house class as we're going around door knocking, handing out flyers or letting them know about the open house. As an extra service, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or that I'm doing for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm going around door knocking, see if there's any interest in the neighbors or if you guys know of anything. Same particular type of message. And then also offering like a virtual tour or maybe a personal tour. And if you don't know how to do virtual just yet. So again, just another example of how you can get creative, but there's also a lot of power there as well. I'd also recommend the other script that we talk about in the open house boot camp of how, as an extra service, or maybe before you close the video, if you're sending it to a particular client or a neighbor or something, saying, oh, and by the way, I listed this property at whatever amount. So people can understand that maybe they didn't know what the market was doing and that their house might be priced similarly, if that makes any sense. Any questions so far? This is another farming example with a testimonial included at the end, and it also incorporates that testimonial into a call of action. So asking them to describe their dream home after they read the testimonial, that's a really great aspect. Also shows more value to you as an agent. And then also remember that utilizing video within your lead generation can give you lots of opportunity. So with any lead conversion language, try and be specific and personal as you can be for the family or for the particular individual. And we'll talk, we're getting ready to look at some more scripts like this as well for lead generation or lead conversion. So this is from, listing conversion, or you could even use it for, meeting with buyers too, but, confirming the appointment and arriving on time script. So I love this because it offers an expectation and an avenue to go above and beyond before even hitting the house or meeting them face to face even. It also gives another great thing to think about, and that might just be, offering to get them coffee on your way. And you can do anything to replace coffee as well, too. I mean, it can be something small. Obviously, keep in mind that you don't want to break yourself, going above and beyond trying to get coffee or treats or whatever. Keep it within your budget, obviously, but it is something that's enticing. We were just talking about yesterday in our leadership meeting. We were talking about just some different things about listings, and Jeff had brought up a story about how he lost a listing to Jane Kelly because in the middle of their listing appointment with those clients, she had recently come from a similar appointment with these clients before Jeff had gotten there. And in the middle of his listing conversation, she had sent a huge bouquet of flowers. And I mean, who do you think got the listing?
Yeah, I've been doing that before. You can cut that, or you okay?
Here's a great follow-up example. So what's great about this one is that it shows your appreciation for having the appointment with them. And then what your goal is also for being their agent, and that call to action for you to start prioritizing their wants and needs within that process. So again, like I said at the beginning, it's kind of taking that follow-up dialogue that you're going to have anyway, whether that be from the basics, phone or maybe handwritten note or something. And it's saving you time because you're putting it in video format. So you're just doing a quick video explaining how you want to prioritize their wants and needs or get that conversation started, what you're going to do for them as the agent. So when you're face to face in front of them, you don't really have to take too much time re-explaining all of that. Another example of building rapport and using that rapport to keep the relationship going. So commenting on something that they have shared with you that is going on in their personal lives. I know I use the example and they do too, maybe their kid has, a recent basketball game or something. You could come back in this video and say, I just wanted to see how Sean's basketball game went. Did they win? Something like that makes it real personal and really engaging. Then going into how you have found the property that is a great for, that particular activity. Maybe that's basketball. It has a basketball goal, for example, as well as additional feature that that appeals to them. So lastly, the call of action on this one is just scheduling or trying to schedule a showing. So it's kind of, building rapport, but you kind of have a property for somebody that you think, and it's just maybe like a touch base in the middle of meetings or before you go and you show a whole bunch of property. Does that make sense? There's a lot of great ideas here. Covering roles and expectations. I really love this one too, because again, it's saving you guys time and maybe prevents you from utilizing those role sheets. I know that, again, going back to James Wood, he does all of this particular conversation video form. So that's part of that pre thing that he sends out before a listing appointment is, this is my role as your agent. If you're considering me, this is what I expect from working with you. You can cut yourself some time here. So it allows you to cover the roles and expectations beforehand and maybe reiterate them after the appointment even if you want to do it that way. You may also consider getting real creative and involving kids or maybe a kids agreement here too, like James had suggested in his class. That just, takes it one step further. And then also remember to always smile and show that you're excited to help them in their journey. I mean, that's the whole role of kind of covering roles and expectations is you're establishing parameters or maybe expectations ahead of time, but you're also showing that you're really taking this seriously, you're excited to help them, and you're excited to be a part of it. And then the last two that I want to get into would be great to send to your sphere of influence or even post on social media, displaying either a new listing that you've gotten or maybe a house that has sold recently for you. It also shows those sellers that you're going to go above and beyond and helps with your marketing plan as part of that listing conversation anyway. So getting comfortable with doing a video like, hey, I have Mr. and Mrs. Smith's house here. We just listed it, and doing a walkthrough maybe, or showing some pictures on top of just, being really energetic in that video or displaying certain features of the home. All of that, grouped together is really powerful. So, and the same could be said for just sold campaigns as well. Can you think of any other examples or scripts that would be really great? I know it kind of hits you with a lot, but if you do think of some, that's good. I mean, that's the whole point is like I said, utilizing either those vital activities checklists or maybe seeing what some other people have done on YouTube. I know you can pull up all of James's videos on his YouTube channel if you ever want ideas. I was even getting ready to do one for our company page on kind of debunking some Zillow things like he did, just kind of recreating that in my own way. I mean, anytime that you have the opportunity to bring education is the number one thing that's going to set you apart, in my opinion. So we have looked at several examples while you are converting leads or servicing those leads. Now let's look at this truth. So opportunities to stay in flow with your clients can arise at any time during the sales process, as well as post-transaction process. So how could you connect with your clients on a personal level throughout and post-transaction? I mean, it's just building that reputation of, nurturing your relationships, staying in flow with your sphere regularly, and just meeting them on a personal level through video. So let's look at some examples of kind of how to do that. So consider a wellness check. I actually kind of use this in one of my recruiting conversations the other day, just offering as an item of value myself, but saying something, I was around your neighborhood and thought of you, wanted to say hi and see how you're doing, reiterate how it was such a pleasure to work with them, or maybe incorporate the opportunity for a referral or a testimonial from them. Another thing that I really like about this is just this wording right here. I wanted to reach out and see how you and your family were doing. I hope you're able to take some time off from your job, activity, etc., whatever you kind of know about them, and get the rest and relaxation that you deserve. I mean, who doesn't want to hear that, right? Like that's pretty awesome to have somebody be like, you know what, you've worked really hard and I'm noticing and I'm just checking in on you. That's really powerful language, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget to, don't get discouraged if clients choose another agent. This is just another opportunity for you to bring value and support, which is what they're going to appreciate. So I really like this script, but again, feel free to leverage it a little bit deeper by making sure to kind of address certain things about their home or their experience that they're getting ready to experience with that agent. So saying things like, make sure that your agent knows about a doc issue or just something like that. I mean, being able to support them by, sending congratulations for choosing another agent. Although we won't be working together, I wish you much success and happiness in the sale of your home. Be sure that, if you know of anything about that property that might hold up a closing or hold up an inspection or an appraisal or something, be sure to tell them, that client, make sure you bring this up with your agent. I want to make sure that agent takes care of you. No hard feelings, just something along those lines. So does anybody have any questions about scripts or any ideas about scripts before we get into section 4? Okay. See how far we get into this. So section 4 is a great section because it deals with best practices for your video strategy and some tips from the pros. So I'll probably only hit maybe this first slide and then we'll pick it back up with session 2 on Thursday. But some video best practices and tips. So you want to be clear, concise, and intriguing. So share just enough information to spark curiosity and encourage your audience or your clients to continue the conversation with you elsewhere. You want to adjust video length to the following recommended timeframes. So if it's a personal message, like through a text or an email, keep it to about 60 to 90 seconds if you can. If it's Facebook, maybe 2 minutes of pre-recorded content. Twitter is usually about 30 seconds. Instagram, maybe 60 seconds. If you're doing YouTube or Vimeo, 2 to 5 minutes. And that's typically the time span that people are going to give you to watch it in the first place. And remember, you want to open your video with a hook. So say something of value or of extreme importance within the first 10 seconds, because if you don't do that, you're going to lose their interest and they're just going to click right out of it. And then finally, just to wrap this up, utilize these suggested timeframes as a starting point to post your video to social media platforms. It's important to track, evaluate, and improve your tactics on a regular basis. So Facebook, you can post any day at 11 a.m. That's usually their highest timeframes. Instagram, Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. And Tuesdays at 2 p.m. So Tuesdays has 2 timeframes. And then Twitter, Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. LinkedIn usually hits about Wednesdays around 3 p.m., Thursdays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and Friday 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So those are just some hot time frames that a lot of engagement and statistical research has proven on those platforms. And then remember that the average attention span for a video is roughly 60 seconds. So use that wise and get creative. So, question before I wrap this up with you guys, because I'm running out of time, but after this class, is anybody going to leave here and try to do a video?
No,
Why not?
I may. Maybe not right directly after this class, but soon.
You should. You should. We got some scripts. You can take them and make them your own. And then who is anybody in this class not an iPhone user? Does everybody have an iPhone?
No.
Josie
No.
does.
I'm an
I do.
Android.
Okay. Well, either way, you know, Android or iPhone. I just I was an Android user and then I switched to an iPhone user just because I felt like the versatility of video messaging, like sending videos through text messages or things like that, came across a little bit more clear, which is honestly why I switched. But you know, if you're struggling with confidence issues, with maybe how you look or how you appear, your phone now has the capability of doing just real mild filters too. So don't be afraid to play around with, you know, whatever you capture and try to make yourself, you know, look a little bit more decent if that's what you want to do or feel more comfortable doing. Some of the platforms even, you can add text, maybe even emojis to your videos. So like I said, it's really, the possibilities are endless, but just get creative. Because it is like, once you start doing it, it gets a lot more fun. I mean, you get less self-conscious and you get more excited to just be bringing all of this value. Got any questions?
No,
Good, thank you.
thank you.
Awesome. I will see you guys for part 2 on Thursday at 10 a.m. here at the Camden office. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.